Because it's time to recommend some chunky books. We like them thick.
Yes, we do.
We like them thick. I love a chunky book. I do.
Well,
I
we
think
both also read a lot of fantasy, which just it just means that it's gonna be chunky. So like we're already primed for chunky, just from
that's
that.
true. That's true. I love being able to just get absorbed in a story for just hundreds and hundreds of pages.
That's if the story's done right, though.
Well, that's true. That's true. I mean, there are some chunky books where I just had to toss them to the side because it wasn't giving what it gave. So,
Yeah, yeah. But when you can get lost in the world, whoo, so
oh
good.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think one of my biggest pet peeves is when an author writes a very good story that could have been 200 pages longer. Like I would have liked to have sat with it
Oh,
more.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like you could have fleshed this out more. You could have given me more, and I would have been right along with you. I would have been here to
yeah. Like,
to
if you
embrace it
had
all.
that, would have made it 5 stars. Like if you had done
Mm-hmm.
that, it would have been 5 stars. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm rocking
Somebody
the
out there.
sweater.
Oh, I love it. I'm just rocking some plaid.
Yeah, that's.
It's, it's fall.
Mm-hmm.
It's fall, and I'm not happy about it, guys and gals. I know you're. If you're looking at the video, you'll see that she just made a face because
Because fall is my season, biatch.
it is. It is. Summer is mine. So my season has gone away,
It's my new like
and yours has begun.
October is my new year. This is my time. It's
I
Libra
know.
season, bitches.
I know, but like, there's no more sitting outside and reading, bitches, and I don't like that. I want to be outside. I want to be outside.
You can
I want to
still
be on
do
my
that.
deck. I want to be on the porch. I want to be outside.
You can do that. Get a fire pit and some blankies.
I can't have a fire pit, remember? It's
Well,
against
get a
the
new
rules in this
house.
county.
Get a new house.
Well, that's coming. That's coming.
All right.
That's coming. So, no
We
more
need to.
outside.
We need to be neighbors. Could you
Caribbean,
imagine?
here we come.
Could you imagine at this podcast if we were neighbors?
Oh my God. First of all, the video would be even funnier. It would start from the time I'm either walking to your house to record or vice versa.
Oh God, we'd have to send Jesus and Larry off somewhere.
Yes, yes. We'd build them their own little space away.
I was about to say, can't they build it themselves? And
Oh, you're asking for trouble. Oh boy.
I know mine can't.
We could build our own she cave. That's what we could do. We could build our own she cave that would act as our reading sanctuary, podcast studio, video and photo content creation zone. Like, that's what it would be.
That's what I'm trying to make in the book nook. I'm trying. I'm
You're,
building.
you're getting there. You're getting there.
I didn't do anything in it today, but that's all right.
You
Tomorrow
needed
I'll
a
do
break,
something.
though.
I do. I was dying.
You
I'll
needed
do
a
more
break.
tomorrow.
Folks, follow Nerdy Nurse Freeze on YouTube so you can follow her journey into getting her book nook together. It's been a long time coming. She had a couple of hurdles,
It's still not
but
good. It's still only like halfway there.
but what though? You got shelves
I have shelves
on the walls,
and
books
books on
on the
shelves.
shelves.
Books
You know
on
what I call
shelves.
that? I
What?
call that progress.
It is progress. It is progress. A
All
story
right, let's get into it. Listen,
Anyway,
I'm
what
very
are we do-
excited.
What are we
I'm
doing?
very
You are
excited.
very excited. Like let's. I'll try. I'll try to keep my tangents to a minimum. I will fail, but
Tangents are what we do
all right.
today. Today we are talking about
I'm making the bed
chunky
for us.
books that we read, loved, and recommend. Chunky books, how we're defining it, are books that are a minimum of 450 pages. So we love a good chunky book. Give me the thick ones.
Uh,
I am amped up for this one.
I just want to tell everybody how much Naomi doesn't drink.
I
This
don't
is
drink at
just
all.
this
That's
is
not true.
Naomi.
I drink twice a year. I drink on friends and family gathering day. Some people call it Thanksgiving. And I drink on Christmas.
And you drink when I visit.
And when you visit. We had a good drink at that little
That
restaurant.
was
That
good.
was a tasty drink on that
Hmm.
Friday night.
Hmm.
All right, so we have showed some restraint, and we have selected um 8 books each.
8 books each.
8 books each.
It
We
started at
started it off
5.
with yes. Tell the truth. I know. Tell the truth.
We
Tell the
started
truth.
at 5 and we came and sat down. She goes, I have 7. I said, you bitch.
And she was like, "You broke the rules."
So I came back with 8.
And then I grabbed another one to make mine 8. And here we are. We're good. We got 8 books each.
I know you're going to hate one of these, and I don't care.
Oh, what is? Oh, I'm so curious. Oh, so we don't share what we're going to be talking about with the books until we're like doing it. So I don't know what she's got on her stack, and she doesn't know what I have in mind except for one because I wanted to confirm that she didn't have it in her stack.
Yeah. I already forgot what that was because I have short-term memory loss. Anyway, you want to go first?
I'm going to go first, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
My first choice is book 1 in the Expanse series. This is Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey. I've read this book twice. I love it. I am just at the beginning of the series. I only read books 1 and 2. I'm going to start book 3 this week, but I absolutely love the sci-fi series. It is a space opera. It is a ton of fun, and I am completely engaged from beginning to end. Now, I know there's a show out. Don't tell me about it. I'm not watching it until I finish the series, okay? You cannot persuade me to do otherwise. And I believe the ninth and final, is it 9? Yes. The ninth and final book comes out either in October or November. We'll put it in the show notes to let you know, but this is my first choice and recommendation, Leviathan Wakes by James S.A. Corey.
I almost bought the special edition when we were at Barnes and Nobles. Barnes and
You
Nobles. I
know
always
I
say that wrong.
did.
Barnes and Noble the other day, but it's $40.
I didn't pay 40 for it. I paid like 30 for it on Amazon when I pre-ordered it.
I mean, I would pay less even with my discounts at Barnes and Noble, but like, I showed some restraint that day. I'll
I mean,
unrestrain myself later.
you
But,
probably would have felt differently had you already read it.
yeah,
You know, like I've already read it twice. Like I
but
love it. So
it is really pretty, the special
it
edition.
oh my god, it's so beautiful.
It has hot pink sprayed edges. I was
It's
like, that
so
alone will
beautiful.
make me buy the book. All right, so I'm gonna save this because I feel like this might be a dupe, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna find out. So I have The Chestnut Man
Oh,
by Soren Svenstrup. I don't know. I don't. Scandinavian names do not come out of my mouth well.
right?
So this is a like really dark crime thriller. Does that make any sense? As opposed to
Yes.
like mystery thriller. So
Yes.
it's more procedural. Like you're really following the detective through. It is very fast paced. It is gruesome in like a very blunt Wallander kind of way.
Oh, I like
And
Wallander.
I absolutely love this. This is like my kind of. This is the kind of thriller I'm looking for because you know that I've been having difficulties finding
Yes,
like
you have.
a good thriller.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you start with thrillers, you're just like excited about them, and then you read a few dozen,
Yeah.
and then you're like, ugh, I'm bored, and then you're looking for these little moments in like where the book really fucks you up, basically. Like I want to like be on the edge of my seat. I want to like the twists. I want to be scared. I want
Yes.
all the things. I don't just
Yes.
want to like know what's coming and be like, ugh. So it's really good. Read this. Fantastic.
So
I'm also
I'm
now thinking about another book I could have given you to take off the shelves, but that's good.
so I feel like last year I should have bought the Chestnut Man instead of the Whisper Man.
Yes, I got rid of the Whisper Man. I did not like it. I don't even remember what it was about. That's how much I didn't care.
I'm disappointed. Okay.
I'm sorry. We didn't have a
It's
podcast
fine.
then.
I know. All right, my second book, and I know Alyssa loves it too, is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern.
I do love it.
This was
I hate the Night Circus though.
I'm reading that before this year ends because I need to know how I feel about it so we can talk about it. But
You're gonna
I
love it, and
guess
we'll have a fight about it. That's what's gonna happen.
I feel like the Starless Sea is like portal fantasy. Would that be a good way to describe it?
Yeah,
Portal fantasy.
it's
It's
portal
just
fantasy.
and it's like stories within stories, and
It's a book about books.
yeah, it is absolutely beautiful, and
Mhm.
it just kind of takes you on a nice little ride. You know, you're kind of floating in the clouds, and you do not want it to end. I actually got teary eyed when it ended because I more of this book, and it's a standalone. It's not a series. It's a standalone. So once it's over, it's really over.
That's the end of it.
Yeah, but the
I
characters are so lovely, and you get so absorbed, and the writing is impeccable. And I highly recommend everyone read it. Let me read a little bit of the synopsis. Far beneath the surface of the earth, upon the shores of the starless sea, there is a labyrinthine collection of tunnels and rooms filled with stories. The entryways that lead to this sanctuary are often hidden, sometimes on forest floors, sometimes in private homes, sometimes in plain sight. But those who seek will find their doors have been waiting for them. It's amazing. The
ding
Starless Sea.
ding.
That's the work
Um,
email.
so the Starless Sea is one of those books. I don't know if you have books that are like this or if this is just a me thing. It's one of those books that I want to reread, but I'm also scared to reread because I don't know if I'm going to have the same experience twice.
Oh, that's interesting you
Like,
say
what
that.
if I don't like it the next time around? I don't
I don't
want.
feel like that with
I don't want to not like it.
Oh, I don't feel like that. I really would like to reread it because I just want to experience those feelings again. I don't have a fear that I won't like it the second go round.
Yeah,
I want to read it again.
I'm
We
thinking.
should read it again in December.
I have two more books I would like to add to this list.
Oh, you know what? Add them.
But you're not. They're upstairs.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
I mean, I can just tell you about them. It's not like I can't tell you
Oh,
about them
okay. All right. So
because I'm sure you have two right in front of you.
I might.
All right. So we're gonna stick with a little fantasy with Legend Born,
Mm.
which by Tracy Dion. I absolutely loved this first in a series, and I can't wait for there to be more out. I thought that this was like the perfect blend of the things that I love in adult fantasy or adult literature with like YA fantasy themes
Mm.
because it was just so well crafted. Brie is amazing. I love the sort of secret society elitist, like very white, the
Mhm.
skulls kind of world where you, and then this young black girl coming into it and discovering her magic and discovering her impact and all these mysteries and the
Right.
danger and all these secrets within the family and through like the ancestors and all this, like there's so much
Yeah.
in here and I can't wait for the next installment. So
I wonder how many books are going to be in that series.
I don't know, but it was really really well done and it's beautiful and wonderful and it was the kind of book that I would only read at home because I
Mm.
wanted to just be in it. Like
Yeah, I
I
know that
didn't
feeling.
want any distractions. So I really loved this. I know it's kind of like an easy pick, but like I really liked
I
it.
don't think it's an easy pick. I mean, you really loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My next one is Lonesome Dove by Lyric McMurtry. I never knew that I could love reading a Western, but I
it's
did.
it's one of my favorite Naomi like secrets. That's not a secret, but like that you have this deep love of cowboy westerns. Did I
I
not send
just,
you a sexy cowboy today?
yes, you did. I listen, it was on one of those list of you know, books you should read before you die, basically. And I was like, Lonesome Dove, a Western. Oh, okay. And then, yet again, the currently reading podcast, Meredith was talking about this book. And I was like, okay, I'm sold. And it's just wonderful. It's this it's a story about this cattle drive that's going from Texas to Montana, and
And boy, does he drive.
boy does he and Giddy up! And
I would love to see Larry run out here right now, like, ooh, ooh. Is it that time?
and look, people, this is not a naughty cowboy story. I'm sorry. This is just our little internal
Yeah,
jokes.
I'm sorry, I'm
Um,
making it naughty.
it's not naughty, folks. This is a really good story, and there was so much adventure. The characters are fantastic. Some of the language is absolutely hilarious, the way some of the men talk to the women, and there's love stories, and it's just one big adventure that you can just soak yourself into, and I highly recommend it. And I would say that, if you've never thought about a western or you think they're boring, I would say give this one a try. Whoa, yikes. This is a
You just keep
series.
talking.
I am. This is a series. This is book one. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there are 4 or 5 books in the series. So, Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. I need to watch the movie.
That's gonna be a fun blooper, me knocking my mic off.
It's going to be hilarious. I'm going to watch the movie at some point too.
Oh, I forgot there's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So the other day I was at the book barn and this lady brought in like 27 cowboy romances, and I really wanted to just buy them
my
all for you
goodness.
and send them to you. Just be like, here's
My
your
goodness.
cowboy porn. But
It's the thing.
I showed restraint.
It's the thing.
I feel like this is another like given, and then I don't know. I feel like I'm so basic, but anyway, we know that I'm gonna put a little life on here because
Yeah.
this book destroyed me. I think about this book like every couple days. Like something in this book comes up. Like
Yeah.
I learned how much I can't listen to self-harm.
That was an intense book.
That was an intense book. Now imagine reading this book, and by reading it, I mean listening to it on a 10 to 11 hour drive alone by yourself.
Right.
Like the crying, the yelling, the crying. I think at some point I said to you, if I get pulled over right now, and the cops are gonna be like, "Ma'am, are you all right?" Like,
Yeah.
just the book I'm listening to.
It's very emotional.
It's very emotional, and for some reason, you have no idea what A Little Life is about by Hana Yanagihara.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad at names. It's basically a friendship between 4 boys, and it goes from college to like adulthood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it is just
It's heartbreaking to say the least.
it is heartbreaking. And like some of these people are just so amazing. There's some characters in here that are just absolute dickheads.
No, they're absolute devils.
Yeah, that's probably
Just devils. There are certain parts you got to because you were waiting for this one particular character's backstory to be revealed.
And the slow reveal is
yes.
she peels the layers off of this backstory so slowly that and goes back to the current timeline.
Yeah.
And wherever they are in their current timeline, and the love story and the found family and
yeah,
my heart is hurting just thinking about this book. I have to do this book again, but I don't know if I can yet.
I definitely can't.
Yeah. So
not anytime soon.
I need a little bit of time for my heart to heal from that.
Yeah, and I do want to read their other book, not the new one that just came out, but the older one, People in Trees. I want to read that one as well. But I thought that writing in that book was absolutely brilliant, and wow, what a story!
It is so layered and complex, and I know that it gets like some flack for being, what do they call it, like suffering porn or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But shut up. Life is trauma.
Right.
Anyway, what else you got?
I have another favorite of ours, and that is The Historian.
Oh, so I knew we were gonna double up.
Okay, well, put yours up. In the video, we're holding our books up. Do you have yours out? Yay! The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova, and we read this in October of 2020, and this is one of the best books I've ever read in my entire life, right? I mean,
It's so good.
yeah, we're essentially searching for the truth about Vlad the Impaler, right? So
Mm-hmm.
like it's about, Dracula and all that good stuff. And this book, because you're traveling through so many countries, and it's such an immersive story. It is just it's breathtaking.
It is,
This is not a scary book. You know what I mean?
but it feels like it has moments where it feels like it's about to get scary.
There are very dark and creepy moments, but this
Yeah.
is not a horror book.
No.
But there are plenty of dark and creepy, slightly sinister moments
Yes.
that will have you on the edge of your seat. But I mean, when you this is the kind of book where you open it up, you want to be alone. You want to be alone in your home, in your private area, completely absorbed in this book. No distractions. This is not something that I could or even wanted to, I don't know, like, clean my house while I'm listening to an audiobook. No, I needed to sit down with this book and just like savor every page. It's that good.
exquisitely written.
It is.
It is a great book.
It
And
is.
it is a very different take on a vampire tale.
Yeah.
It's a very academic take on a vampire. Like it
Oh,
is
very
very
much so.
like, if you want to talk about dark academia.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Why does dark academia just need to be a bunch of just fucking privileged
Right, set at a boarding school.
like twat heads that are in a boarding
Right.
school?
Right. That's a good point. That's a good point. But the
I'm
historian, I'm
petitioning
telling
for
you
this to
all,
be dark academia. I'm petitioning the book world.
if you have not read this book, I highly recommend you buy it and read it and just be prepared for a literary masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is.
And the audiobook is phenomenal. I mean, if
It
you
is.
can listen and read along, the voices are just fantastic.
Mhm.
You travel, oh, you feel like you've lifted off and traveled to a different world.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Yeah, I will
So
be
good.
reading this again in October. I'm going to start on October 1, and just like I did last year, I will purposely be reading just a little bit each day.
Look at her hugging it. She loves it so much.
It's just so good.
You're welcome for that recommendation.
Not enough people talk about this book.
They don't, and it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
We should read her other book, Shadowland,
Okay.
in October.
Twisted my arm.
Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't hard at all, now was it?
It's never hard to get me to read a book. So, how about since we have one we both love, let's do one that's more decisive.
Oh.
Divisive.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Right word.
Dun dun dun. Uh-oh.
To sleep
God
in
dang
a sea
it.
of
God
stars.
dang it.
I know you don't like this book.
Where's a pen I can throw across the room?
So, To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. I absolutely love this book. I raved about this book. Everybody in our little book group went out and got this beautiful book in some form and then proceeded to tell me how much they hate it. And you can all suck it. So I just absolutely love this. It is sci-fi. It is like weirdly in depth. It's just I don't know how I don't know why what didn't you love about it?
I started off really enjoying it, and I don't know what happened. I just began not to care. It just did a complete switch for me. I don't know. Now, here's what I did not do. I did not give that book away. I still own it because I'm thinking about reading it again next year. So I still have it.
I mean, it's definitely not a book for everybody. I will say that. But it is definitely a beautiful book. I think that it is very detailed in a lot of ways. I think the whole relationship between Kira and her suit, like her the suit person,
that was very interesting.
Was really interesting.
Yeah.
I love the way it ends. I love I even love the silliness of there being like space aliens called jellyfish. Like
Mm-hmm.
the space jellies. Like
Yeah.
I just I enjoyed every second of it. I like the random overly scientific stuff at the end was just like kind of I felt like it was funny. Like that there's
Yeah.
all this crazy like physics background at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I loved it. I know you didn't, but
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. There are some books, this does not happen often. Usually, if I read a book and don't like it, I don't want to go back to it. But every now and then, there's one where I'm like, maybe I just was not in the red headspace, or maybe I just want to give it another try. But that does not happen to me often. So just want to put that out there.
all right, what's next?
Okay. This next one I loved, and I'm going to read it again with Alyssa because she has not read it, and that is Free Food for
Oh
Millionaires
yeah, I knew you were gonna
by
like
Minjin Lee. Now, I know, everyone talks about Pachinko by Minjin Lee, and Pachinko is a fantastic book. But I loved Free Food for Millionaires just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
I'll let you know how I feel about it when I'm
Yeah,
done.
but I think Minjin Lee is an incredible writer and
Yes.
storyteller. So this follows Casey, and she is the daughter of Korean immigrant parents. And when you are a daughter or son of an immigrant, you have certain expectations on the kind of life you should live, the kind of career you should have. And she's kind of going against the grain and bucking all of that and trying to carve out a space for herself in her own way. And it's this whole family saga about all of that. And when I tell you, when I cracked this book open, so this book is a little under, nope, yep, it's 659 pages. No, 661 pages. I read like 300 pages in the first go. I mean, I just couldn't stop. I just could not stop. It was a great story, enjoyable characters, and also a little bit of drama. It was just everything. So it
I'm
was
curious
very
to
fun to
see.
read and very interesting, and the characters were fantastic, and the storytelling was out of this world.
I'm curious to see how I like it. I'm also curious to see if she does the same thing she did in Pachinko, where she has these like abrupt turns. Like, did you notice that in Pachinko, where like she'd get to the end of a part and it would be
Hmm.
like, and
And
then
then you're
they,
somewhere else or
yeah,
another timeline. Yeah,
she's like, blah blah blah, died
yeah.
2 years later, and it's not. There's like no. It's just like boom,
To
flat,
me, this does not read
scene
like that.
open.
Yeah.
So
Free Food for
sometimes
Millionaires doesn't read like that, but it's very different. Though, like Pachinko is spanning so many
so many years.
years, and this is not really doing that.
And I don't think it was like a negative thing. It was just
Oh
it was
yeah,
unsettling at moments because you'd be like, oh, okay, here we are again.
right, right, yeah.
Like
So
it was.
I highly recommend it whenever you're ready to read this. Did we already set a date? Did we say
I don't
November?
think so. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe we said November or December, but so good. I read this one. So Free Food for
Sorry, your
Millionaires by
coffee's
Minjin
kicking
Lee.
in. So my next one is is actually the only one of three that I actually like, and that is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt,
Yay!
which
I
is
love it.
one of my favorite books that I read. I think last year, right?
Hmm.
Um, and I have I see. I read her first book, A Little Friend. No, her first book, A Secret History, and it's beautifully written. It's exquisitely written trash. I do not like it. Because I just hated every character in it. And then I tried to read her second book, A Little Friend, which was beautifully written, but I have no idea what the point of the whole story was and DNF'd it halfway through because I just couldn't, I didn't care anymore. And I don't have that one anymore. I got rid of that one.
Ah, uh-huh.
But I read those both after I read The Goldfinch, which is
Mm-hmm.
her most recent. And I love this book so, so much. And half of it might
Yes.
be because it's set in New York. You know, I get sentimental around things set in New York. But I basically, there's a kid, there's an explosion at a museum, his mother dies. And then a painting goes missing in the whole thing,
Yeah.
and then it's just following his life, and that sounds like the most horrible setup ever, but it is a saga about this kid's life
Yes,
without
it
a
is.
parent. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but the antique dealer that he gets as a friend, there's a lot of this that reminds me of like Great Expectations, and there's just something about this book and how she explores humanity and found family and growing up and grief and what is life and what is
Yeah.
beauty and what is art and what is it's just so wonderfully complex. The very end, the way she sums up the book is just there's so many like key little like phrases and stuff in here that I couldn't, they blew me away. Like her
Yeah.
writing blew me away. And yeah. So I have to read this again at some point. But I
Let
love
me know
this
when you
book
do, because I will gladly
so
read it
much.
again. I feel like a lot of people don't like that book, and they talk about how they feel like the main character is so like obnoxious and all this stuff, and he's just really on some BS, and they were sick of him. And I'm like, that's not what I got from the book, but okay, to each
Yeah.
their own. I just thought I kind of thought the structure of the book and the way the story kind of unfolded was just kind of perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, the writing is unbelievable.
Yeah, she's an exquisite writer. But those same people, do they like A Secret History? Because almost everybody in that book is an awful, terrible person.
Right. But
And
people swear by the secret best dark academia book ever. But I don't have an interest in reading the secret history, but I love the Goldfinch.
I
It was
found
a
it.
beautiful story.
I'm about to knock my mic over again. I found it at the book barn for $1, not the
Mm-hmm.
Goldfinch, but the Secret History. So I was like, fine, I'll read this. And it just didn't. I don't know. I just hated every moment with the characters. The writing was superb. Like she can write the shit out of a book.
Yeah.
But I absolutely hated everyone in that book. And I knew how it was going to end. And I'm like, of course it's going to end that way. I hate you all.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I just don't. Like, if I'm going to read about privilege, I need there to also be, like, consequences.
Right. Something else of some kind of substance to kind of balance it out, maybe.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of that book, Less Than Zero by Bret
Mm-hmm.
Easton Ellis that I really
That
hate.
became a movie too, I believe.
Yeah, and I think it has a follow up book, but it's like Less Than Zero's maybe it's under 200 pages, right? And then The Secret History feels the exact same way. I had the exact same feelings reading it. Like I hate all these people. I don't care. They can all burn. Um, but it's like 700 pages.
Right. Right.
So I had to sit like that for a lot longer.
Right.
I didn't like.
I mean, I'll give her a pass because she wrote The Goldfinch, which I thought was beautiful and wonderful. So I'll give her a pass. But is that she hasn't written anything new, right? Like this
So
was The
she takes
Goldfinch the
the most
last.
recent. So it takes her about 10 years to write every book. So there's been approximately 10 years between all three books. Each
And
one.
was The Goldfinch the last one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't know when that came out. I heard the movie is just awful though.
Did I watch the movie? I haven't seen the movie.
Ooh,
Okay, are you ready for my next one?
I don't know. Am I? 2013. So yeah, maybe soon we'll
Maybe.
get another one.
Oh, that's okay. Maybe, yeah, maybe soon. My next one is Wanderers by Chuck Wendig. I love this book so much.
Do I know what that book is? Have you showed me that book before?
I've showed everyone this book before. I'm always trying to get someone to read this daggone book. How do I explain this book? So,
Clearly, she hasn't succeeded with me.
no, you haven't. You haven't. I don't, you know what? I don't know if you'll like this book. I don't know if you'll like this book.
Well, tell me about it and tell me why I won't like it.
Okay, so there appears to be some people that are sleepwalking. Okay, like they're not asleep. They look like they're awake, but like they're in a trance of some sort, and they are just walking to wherever. Nothing can stop them. Nothing can hold them back. And then all of a sudden, other, let's call them walkers, if you will, join them. It's like the flock is attracted to one another. So they all are becoming this one huge flock of these walkers. And it's not affecting everyone, but it's affecting a good percentage of the world per se.
I feel like you're
And
just describing the dementia ward in a nursing home. All of a sudden, these wanderers come out.
well, and so you have these walkers, but then you have their family members, right? And so no one knows what's going on. No one knows why their family members, friends, whatever, just keep walking. And so you have their mothers and their fathers and their siblings and their caretakers like following them because they won't stop walking. And so they're trying to figure out how they're going to like, feed themselves and where they're going to go and how are they going to care for their loved ones to make sure they don't hurt themselves. And that's all I can say because the rest is a twist and it'll spoil the whole story. But
Don't spoil it.
yeah, but you begin to, meet certain characters and get a little bit of their backstory. And I just gobbled it up. I gobbled it up from beginning to end. And don't I feel like a lot of people have not read this, and the ones that have, half of them don't like it.
Why do you think I wouldn't like it?
I think you may think it's boring.
Hmm.
I could be wrong.
I can always try to get it out of the library.
Yeah,
Give it a
I
shot.
could be wrong. Yeah. Also, so you know how I am not sensitive to a lot of things, but apparently there's something that happens in here that just kind of flew over my head because I don't get triggered by things. But apparently something happens in here that triggers people, and that's all I can say.
Ah.
So, I don't know how you all feel about trigger warnings, but I'm terrible at them because a lot of things that I read that may be a trigger for someone, they are just not really evident to me. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I have the same problem with trigger
yeah,
warnings and stuff. Sometimes I can recognize how maybe, but I don't always recognize it while it's happening. It'll be like, oh yeah, that might bother somebody.
yeah.
I want to add one more book. I'm not gonna. I do want to add one more, and I know you have it, so I'll tell you to grab it when it's time.
Okay.
But I know I've made you read this.
I haven't read it yet, but I have it.
I. What do you mean you haven't read it yet?
I didn't read it yet,
What do you mean?
but I have it.
I even made Jesus read this.
I have it.
Anyway, so it's A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Tolls. And it's a fantastic story. So basically, this Russian nobleman in the late 30s gets put under house arrest inside this hotel in Moscow. And then you basically see the next 30 to 40 years of Russian history through his experience with people as they come in and out of this hotel. So
Oh,
the hotel is like a major part of the story, and
okay.
it's the vehicle through which he experiences life because he doesn't really get to leave the hotel because he's
Mm-hmm.
under arrest in the hotel. He basically gets like a surrogate daughter, gets one of like the guests' children that's in the hotel at some point. He has relationship with all of the staff members. He has like it's just it's phenomenal. It is a brilliant, brilliant story, and I'm mad at you for not having read it yet.
No, don't be mad. You know what? It will get read before this year ends because I feel like I purchased that book either the end of 2019 or the very beginning of 2020. So I need to read it this year.
Yes, you do.
And his other book, Rules and
Rules
Civility.
of, Rules of Civility.
Yes, I have both.
Rules of Civility is fantastic. I think about that one a lot too. And then he
Mm,
has another one coming out in maybe November called The
right.
Limited Highway.
Yeah.
I want to say it's in November.
Yeah, I
And
know people have been a lot. That's kind of highly anticipated. So, but I'll definitely read his two that I own.
no, it's out on October 5th. I'm wrong.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that'll be out by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My next book is The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne.
I need to get that.
Oh, so good. So this follows the life of a queer man in Ireland, and it's one of those books where I felt like I love this man, first of all.
Mhm.
And I just felt like he couldn't get a break. And it just kind of broke me.
Yeah.
He was such a good person and so loving. He just wanted to live his life on his own terms, just be himself. And it just felt like even when he found a glimpse of happiness, like something just stripped it away. And it just, this book just broke me so many times.
Why does that sound like Jude?
Um,
And not in the same, not
yeah,
for the same reasons, but like it's that same feeling where you're like, you just want them to catch a break.
yeah. Actually, now I didn't cry with A Little Life, but I cried with this one.
Oh God. So am I just gonna die?
I mean, you might, you might,
I
because
cry
you
at
just
everything.
you just want happiness for him so badly,
Hmm.
so badly. You know what I mean? And it's like, please, someone allow him to have it. But I just thought it was a really beautiful story, and it was pretty gripping. And highly recommend it. Just make sure you got some tissues, some facial
Tissues.
tissues nearby.
Um, do you want to grab imaginary friend off your shelf?
Yes, I do.
Hold while she finds the book. Okay. I don't know how I didn't grab this, but
I didn't grab it because I thought you were going to grab it.
I don't know how I didn't grab it. I'm sitting here, I'm like, how did I not grab this? So if you would like to hold up imaginary friend, I know that there's like a lot of people, you either love this book or you hate it.
Who hated this book?
Other people, not anybody
How
that we're
dare
friends with.
they?
Not our friends.
Oh, we know
But
our friends didn't hate it.
not our friends. Like you will never look at deer or a white plastic bag the same way ever again in your entire
Absolutely.
life.
Absolutely.
Never again. It is so good. I don't even know how to describe this. It is creepy. There's
Yeah.
a little boy. There's basically like the devil coming to fuck with this small town, essentially.
Yeah.
That's the best way for me to put this. And it is very long. I would not have been angry if he cut out 100 pages. There is a point in the middle where I'm like, maybe we don't need all of this.
Did I feel that way? I don't remember.
However, even with all that, that book is phenomenal.
That book is so good. So Alyssa and I, with some of our other friends, we all kind of like buddy read this, not at the same time, but like around the
Hmm.
same time, like during the same month. And the way that each of us devoured this book and how we were talking about it in our private chat was hilarious. I mean, I was in my car at night grabbing food and eating the food and reading the book in the car. I mean, you don't want to stop reading it.
I was
You need
sending.
to know what happens next.
We were sending each other videos of deer like for like months after
And
this. We're
plastic
like,
bags.
we're like, I'm scared. Um, it's so good. It was so good. The ending is crazy. Honey, what do you want?
It's
Daddy
so
makes you
good.
dinner.
It was one of the most fun buddy reads we ever had.
Yeah,
And read it.
just read it. It's
If you
great for
can.
October.
If you can, read it with some friends.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
I'm not the only one who felt this way. You may not have, but I know that that's a common complaint that there is like somewhere in there that it feels like you could probably have cut out a little bit of it.
Mm-hmm.
But just keep going because it doesn't matter because it's still
Keep
really good.
going.
And yes, it has Bible thin pages. And yes, the font is small. Shut up. Put your readers on.
Put your readers on and just be prepared for a good time. For a creepy good time.
It
You
is
know,
good.
what I wondered is, like sometimes I look at this book on my shelves and I'm like, oh, I want to read that again and like experience it again, but I don't think I could.
I don't think I could either.
You know what I mean? Some books, it's like that first time experience was like once in a lifetime and that's it. And a reread won't give you that again.
No.
And I kind of feel like that about this book, although I often look at it and want to read it again, but I'm chasing that first time reading experience of it that I don't think I'll get again.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you had how many extra books?
That was my one extra book.
Okay, I have a one extra then. Okay. and it's The Child Thief by Brom.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah. And this is basically a darker retelling of, oh yes, this is just a darker retelling of Peter Pan.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned about, so for those on the video, I'm showing photos of illustrations in the book, which
That
are
the
fantastic.
author does.
That the author does. He is an artiste. This is Peter, by the way, so you can see he doesn't look so jolly, does he, folks?
No.
Doesn't look jolly at all.
No.
So it was so fun in the most dark and sinister way, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think one of my favorite things was getting to the end and hearing like the little like the author note about the book and the research he did and how many other stories he pulled from and how like there are many different folklore stories from different places
Mm-hmm.
that play on the same theme, like um, Avalon and all of that,
Right.
and how he combined it all into this like sinister world. Oh, I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, it was so good, and so
I'm just mad that my hardback that I found doesn't have a
the
dust
cover,
jacket.
the dust jacket. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So one day I'll get a better one.
yeah, and I still have to order, but
Yes, you do. So we
I
can read it together.
yeah, I just really love The Child Thief, and this is where I started it, and it's just like you're just in it. You're just in it. Because also, it was just like, oh, this is a wild Peter Pan retelling.
Yeah, it
These
is.
kids are insane.
Like the kids are crazy, and the language is a little. I feel like the language between the kids is a little like 1990s dated. Did you
Mm-hmm.
feel that way? Where you're
And I
like,
was, you know what? I was so okay with it.
I was like, I feel like I've gone back in
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Like, nobody's
yeah.
talked like this in years.
I'm I'm very interested in Brom, this author,
Yeah,
and I'm not sure what else he's written.
he has like 5 or 6 other books.
Yeah, but I'd like to get all of his stuff at some point and read through it. Because I thought this was pretty
I
creative.
think they're all similar in vein. Like they're similar, in, like they're retelling or
Right.
dark, and there's art in them. They all have like
Yeah.
the same kind of feel.
Yeah.
The Slewfoot one, which just came out, which I think we've shown or we talked
Yes.
about on our spooky reads.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which we'll link in the show notes.
that is following basically. That sounds like a Crucible kind of retelling, which
Oh.
like because you have this. There's like witches and like the devil
Yeah.
and it doesn't. It's not like I feel like what I'm getting from Brahm is that they're not straight retellings like this is Cinderella and this is the new Cinderella. They're like a conglomeration of different um, folklore from different
Mm-hmm.
places that pull on the same themes, and then he like twists it into darkness, and like
Yeah.
it's more finely crafted than just a retelling.
He makes it his own.
Yeah,
There's no doubt about it.
yeah.
I want
And
another word other than retelling. Okay, because I kind of hate that word, but
well, we have remix, but I feel like
I don't like that word either.
All right,
I don't know.
I'm out of ideas.
Me too. Me too. All right, let's go. Let's go.
All right, so my last one is Cloud Cuckoo Land,
I can't wait to read that one.
which I just read, and it will be out by the time we post this episode. It's technically not out just yet.
Mm-hmm.
But this is by Anthony Doerr, who wrote All the Light We Cannot See. I don't even know how to explain this book. It is if here's my warning from the get-go. If you do not like multiple timelines,
Mm-hmm.
like you really don't like multiple timelines, maybe don't read this book. But there's 3 different timelines. You're in uh the 14 somethings in Constantinople. You're dog. You're you're in, you're in like sort of contemporary times, and you're in like the future in space, and it is a mix of like the stories that we tell, and how they connect us as humans. It is about the earth and
Mm-hmm.
the environment. It is about um, a lot of it's about the environment. There's a little bit about uh, mental health, um, about um, like autism, and there's it's there's a lot in here,
Yeah.
and it's really hard to put into words. But it's the kind of book where you just have to trust that it's gonna make sense. Cause like for a while, I'm reading it and I'm like, I like all these storylines, but what the hell is it, like other than this one story that follows through and all these different timelines, I don't know what they have in common. And then slowly they all kind of converge,
Mm-hmm.
and it's brilliant. Like it's absolutely brilliant. It if you just hang on and
Yeah.
go for the ride, it is brilliant. Jesus didn't get there. He bailed out.
He's like, I'm
But this,
out.
I wasn't sure if this was the kind of book he would like. So I'm not surprised if he didn't
Yeah,
like
you
it.
did say that. You
But
did say that.
yeah, because it's just a little too weird, I think, for him. But it is just it's crazy how he interweaves these stories, especially in the more modern timeline. How he interweaves all these stories, how um, he just uses language. It's just so good. It's so good about the importance of our natural world. Like, how did he get the environment in there? I don't
Mm.
know. Like, it's just read the book.
I'm
It's
dying
so
to read this
good.
book. I'm dying
Hopefully,
to
it
read
doesn't
it.
turn out like To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, where you're all like, I hate it.
Oh, that's different. That's different. That's just different. All right, this is my last one. How many more do you have? Oh, okay. Yep, my last one. My
You're
last
out.
one is Night Film.
Oh yes,
Yes, by
that we have to reread.
Marisha. Is it Pessel? Marisha Pessel?
Hmm. I think so.
I think so. This is a literary thriller. Okay. And it follows, what is his name? Scott. He's an investigative journalist.
And he's
And this
kind of
is
like washed up, isn't
kind of
he?
washed up, kind of washed up. And this is following the death of a girl, I think her name is Ashley. And so this is basically him trying to track down how this girl died. And in the process of him tracking this down, all these other things come into play. And when I tell you this book gets weird, it gets weird, it gets crazy. Many times it feels, this is also one of those mixed media books. So you've
Uh
got
huh.
like you got like photos and newspaper articles and all kinds of things in here. So it's a very interesting book to look at
Yes.
while you're reading. But the ride Marisha takes us on with this thriller is absolutely insane. And I was here for it every step
It's
of the way.
so good. And
It's so good. It's also like it has so many like creepy moments.
because it's trippy.
It's so trippy because I mean, there are times I was reading this and I was like, I felt so tense because all of a sudden things got dark really quickly.
Yes.
And I was like, wait a minute, what is happening? And it takes you on a wild ride. I highly recommend Night Film.
Yeah.
So good. So
Because
good.
isn't she's like related to, or somehow you rope in this, is it filmmaker?
Yes. And
That,
he's got a weird
and that
going
whole,
on.
and
What's
he's
his
like
name?
this like underground cult sort of filmmaker that gives me, who's the guy who did Mulholland Drive and all of that?
Yeah, like
Um,
it's a film. So this filmmaker made this film that isn't like for public consumption anymore, but like somewhere like in the underground cult world, people have access to it, and it's a very real thing, and it's very weird and very scary, and probably breaks some laws, and
like it's a snuff film.
yeah. Well, I mean that's pretty much what it is
Yeah.
for the most part. Yeah.
But who's is it the Waters, Jim Waters, Guy Waters, Waters? Who's the filmmaker I'm thinking of? Oh my god. Uh
While you're thinking, I just want to tell people. That's why I said like this is a literary thriller. This is not gonna be
David Lynch. He's got like
David Lynch.
sort of. But then there's somebody else I'm thinking of. Who's the Waters guy? The filmmaker.
So don't
that's
go into
Waters.
Night Film thinking that this is one of your standard thrillers that comes out, because it's not. It's very deep, it's very heavy, and it is really, really well written. I haven't read anything else by her. Have
John
you?
Waters. I was like,
John
it's got like
Waters.
this. That's not who I was thinking of, though. No, I was definitely thinking of David Lynch. For some reason, in my mind, those names are the same person, but I know that Hairspray and Mulholland Drive are not the same movie.
So different, so different.
I don't
Have
know
you
what it-
read anything else by her?
I haven't.
Me neither.
We need to find more from her.
Yeah, I know she has a book that is classified as dark academia, but I don't really know if it is or not. But I've seen it on many like dark academia books to read.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to find
Yeah.
out.
But Night Film is amazing. Highly recommended.
Yes.
Yeah.
Read it now.
Yeah. Oh, read it with the audiobook because it just gives you a much fuller
Oh, yeah.
experience. So
Especially
you got
with
you got
multimedia
the
and stuff.
audiobook, you've got all the media, mixed media inside the book. It's just such a joy to read. So read along with the audiobook.
I love when you get to do that and you have this like just a totally immersive experience. It's
Oh,
like
yes.
when they do. I will say this. They did so. One day you will read Dune and we will discuss Dune.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that I will give a positive for Dune is the audiobook has like a full cast
Mm-hmm.
sort of vibe to it. So when you're listening to it, it listens to like a play.
Mm-hmm.
And they actually take out a lot of the dialogue tags too. So it really feels like,
Oh, okay.
like almost like an old timey radio show.
Yeah.
So it's I really love when audiobooks are like that and you can sit down with the text and just it's like you're in a bubble
Yes.
in the world of the book.
Yes. I
love
agree.
that. It's
I
one of my
agree.
favorites.
Well, I think we gave some good recommendations for
think so,
chunky
too.
books to read. And many of these are great for the fall. What do you
They
think?
are. They are.
Fall/winter.
Yes. And
Mhm.
I hope that everybody reads A Gentleman in Moscow because it's just fucking fantastic. Sorry.
That means me. That means me, guys. That means
That
me
was
too.
Naomi.
Me
She
too.
She failed at her assignment.
I failed.
I thought you had read it.
No.
I just got you to buy it. Or you bought it
Yes.
before somehow. Okay.
Yes.
Read the damn book.
Read the damn book.
You have
Hashtag read
homework.
the damn book.
You have
All right,
homework.
so that's gonna do it. Those are our chunky book recs for you guys. Get them, read them, let us know what you thought about them.
Don't be scared of chunky books.
Don't be scared of chunky books. They're here to give you joy. They are here to give you pure joy. They gave us joy.
They gave us joy. All the joy.
All the joy.
Read
All right.
Imaginary Friend.
Yes.
And don't engage with white plastic bags.
Right. And read Lonesome Dove because everyone needs to read a Western. Woo-hoo! Giddy on up. All right. And that about does it for us. We're
That's
out of here.
That's it, cowgirl. Bye.
Bye.